Hey, it's your girl Erica Vane back again with another Our Kind of People video. And in this video, we're talking about episode 7. So let's go ahead and get into it. The episode opens on a very interesting note because we see Teddy having some type of illusion or vision or dream or something where he's actually seeing his older brother, his brother that died. And we know that this is an illusion because this man is no longer living, and we're quickly shocked back into reality as we see he's actually having these visions, and he has them throughout the episode as he's at the hospital being treated. He suffered a heart attack, but then also is going through other little arrhythmias and ultimately has to get heart surgery. So throughout a lot of the major medical moments, we're actually having scenes with him in these illusions talking to his brother. We're getting a little bit further clarity on what, not necessarily what happened, because we got no specifics about that, but we got to see their father. We get to see the tone in which his brother is actually communicating to him, and ultimately this is definitely a psychological type of thing, because while it is his brother's body manifested in this vision talking to him, it's also shaped by his mind, because this stuff is coming, like this is happening within his mind. So we get a kind of understanding of what he thought his brother thought of him, as well as what he thinks of his brother and the position that he played in his brother's life as well as his father's life. And it really gives us an insight into how Teddy Franklin became the messed up Teddy Franklin that we have come to know. I think the most shocking thing about the scenes with the brother was the one at the very end when we see him have a vision of him being at the actual hospital, and it's the first time we actually get to see fully his face, and we get to see that he has a bullet wound in the center of his head. And my question is, did he shoot his brother in the head, child? Oh, Teddy. Throughout the scenes that we're seeing with them, though, it's kind of like you see him going back and forth with purgatory, and I think it's there to mirror, like, is he going to die or is he going to make it? Ultimately, Teddy winds up making it. We get dialogue from the brother who says, like, this isn't it, because if it was it, you would be coming with me. And that really gives us the, like, stamp and the clarification of, like, okay, so he was basically fighting for his life, but he actually gets pulled back from the edge. However, with us seeing the scene at the very end, we know that these visions are not over now. Like, the brother is definitely going to be, whether it's the good or the bad, I don't necessarily know by looking at this episode, but he will be the angel sitting on Teddy's shoulder as he moves forward. Also in this episode, we get to see Nate, who popped up at the end of last episode, who is now trying to assimilate into having his freedom, or acclimate, into having his freedom. Angie helps him get rid of his locks so he's able to purge all the pain that came from the reason why he grew those. He gives his journal to Angie to give to Nikki, because at the start of the episode, Nikki is really struggling, one, with resenting Angie, and two, with even wanting to see Nate, just because it's a lot to take in. She just found out after her grandfather, who just now became her grandfather, is rushed to the hospital in dire straits, that her mother does know her father, and in fact, your father is here. It's a lot to take in. And I thought that the performances by the young lady who plays Nikki were just absolutely beautiful throughout this episode. She spent so much of the episode in emotional turmoil, but it just read so nuanced and deep. She really just brought me in when it came to her. One of my favorite scenes of the entire episode was the scene between Nikki and Lauren, and I feel like it's one of the most enchanting scenes of the episode, because we get to see Lauren help Nikki take her first steps into getting to know her father, and she does this by way of reading a passage from the journal that he gave. And I thought it was really powerful, one, in just seeing these two black girls process their emotions around the men in their lives, but then when you add on the added layer of, like, Nikki has not liked Lauren and Lauren has not liked Nikki, well, specifically Lauren hasn't liked Nikki and caused problems for Nikki, but she has been able to really turn over a new leaf and realize that Nikki is in need and be able to show up for her in the way that she needed in this moment. So it was just multi-layered emotional goodness, and we love to see it. Now, I'm going to talk about Aunt Peggy real quick, because she's on my nerves. She has been on my nerves. She has been lying and avoiding things all season, and in this episode, we get to see her actually run off after Tyrique approaches her about dating a Darius Bates, who used to be very close with his father, and he's still looking for answers because he doesn't believe Teddy, who told him that his father committed suicide last episode. That could not possibly be. And after doing a a little bit of digging, Aunt Peggy's name comes up by way of the housekeeper that's still at the Franklin's estates. After he confronts her about this, a little bit after, she literally writes a little Dear John letter, says she's going back to Boston, and leaves after she lies to him and says that she has no idea who Darius Bates is. And I just cannot for the life of me figure out why Aunt Peggy is choosing to just lie. And then most of all, not only why are you choosing to lie, but sis, why the hell did you even come here knowing you got all of these buried ass skeletons and that Angie was coming with a shovel? So girl, why did you even walk into this if you already knew what it was? It made no sense. And now that you're in the thick of it, you want to run when all you have to really do is just start telling people the truth. They could avoid so much pain if you just tell people the truth. And honestly, y'all, the Darius Bates conversation I think ties back to, I think it was in episode 3 where we saw Aunt Peggy go to like this swamp land or whatever, and Teddy approached her because he had been having her followed, and he literally was like talking about somebody being buried there. I think Darius is buried there, and it's like, girl, whether you want this stuff to come out or not, it is coming, because Angie is digging, and now Tyrique then found a shovel and he's digging too. So why don't you just get in front of it, lay everything out on the line, stop playing this little double agent trying to hide all your dumb secrets that are like forever old. People are just trying to learn what happened and heal. You stopping the process and on my damn nerves. But one time for Angie with her Solange moment, her Solange and Jay-Z moment in the elevator. So Raymond was spotted by Angie talking with Alex in the car. He actually lets her kiss him for a moment, but then he gets out. He says he loves his wife. The lie detector test is still trying to figure that one out, y'all. I can't necessarily say if that's true or false, but Angie actually oversees this interaction. And once they are in the elevator at the hospital, she lets him have it. Like, you the one telling this girl all this information, you kissed her, she two-piece and the biscuits him, and I'm just like, well, that's how it goes sometimes, because family fight. Ain't that what they said about Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange in the elevator? It was comical. It was very serious. She meant business, y'all, but it was a very lighthearted, comical moment in the episode, and I actually enjoyed it. As I mentioned, Nikki struggles throughout this episode with wanting to see Nate and then resenting Angie for lying to her all these years. But by the end of the episode, she actually makes peace with it. She makes peace with Angie. She gets the advice of Angie and then ultimately decides that she does want to see him. So they meet up and take a walk. So I think the rest of the season, we're definitely going to see her dropping into getting to know her father. Shout out to Lauren and Angie for really pushing Nikki to want to know her father, because they both gave two very different perspectives. Angie from the place of like not having the opportunity to get to know her father, and now he's, at the time when they had this conversation, was on his deathbed. She wants the opportunity and she's speaking from there. And then Lauren was speaking from a place of like always having her father, and she wouldn't know what she would do without him. So she being Nikki should not rob herself of the opportunity to have him if she does have that. I think Tyrique is getting a little bit even more dropped in and angry and wants answers than Angie, and I'm very, very excited to see. I love seeing this duo on screen. Honestly, the entire, like, if Our Kind of People is nothing else, it is a phenomenally beautifully shot show full of melanated people, and like deeply melanated people. Like, I catch myself while I'm watching it just smiling, because while we see tons of black people in media, right, we don't necessarily get to see a ton of black people of deeper, darker complexions. And I'm just like, y'all is doing that, done that, did that, and will continue. I'm here for it. Thank you. Thank you, Lee Daniels. Our Kind of People is given, especially for dark-skinned people like myself. All right, before I finish out this breakdown, I also have to mention that Alex is not backing down. She did kiss Raymond in this episode, which just lets me know that she still wants that old thing back, now that she didn't let it out of the bag that the mom was the problem and she tried to have her family deported, which is why they actually wind up separating. She's not backing down without a fight, and sis is on her press-ish this episode, ultimately getting to the bottom of what's going on and announcing to the world that Teddy has Parkinson's, which is probably going to create some issues specifically for him within the board. They're probably going to call for him to step down for medical reasons. She has basically lit a fire on the bluffs and everything is finna burn. Before the episode ends, Leah takes it upon herself to toss Raymond up out of the house, having learned what happened by way of Angie in that elevator, already having her suspicious because at the top of the episode, she was pissed and wanted to figure out why she was here. They were being questioned by the press then. And once the Parkinson thing comes out, that is the last straw for her. And she tells Raymond to get his and get out. If y'all know that reference, drop it in the comment section down below. I'm really proud of Leah though. I'm definitely coming around with her. From the start of the series, I did not like her, but she is becoming more and more likable as she opens up, as she leans into her vulnerability, and as she gets off of Angie's ass. Honestly, we actually got to see these two girls operate as sisters in this episode, and she even goes as far as to say she's grateful that she had Angie to be able to go through the situation with at the hospital, and I actually feel like she genuinely meant it. So shout out to you. Come on, Leah and Lauren, getting it together, turning the corner and becoming bomb black women, not just beautiful. We love that for y'all. But y'all, that is my episode 7 breakdown. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so that you don't miss any of my Our Kind of People videos. It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you live every week with breakdowns for this phenomenal show. I think I'm also going to talk about some of the characters as well as storylines. So let me give y'all a couple of videos in between the episode breakdown so that we can discuss a little bit more, because there's something else going on with Aunt Peggy. Tyrique ain't having it, and I love the relationship and how it's shifting and changing between Angie and Leah. So maybe we need to go ahead and make those separate videos and talk about it. Again, let me know your comments in the comment section down below, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.